Hi guys, good evening and welcome back to The Edward. Once again, I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing my reaction to the Season 6 trailer for The Walking Dead. I know this is a couple weeks old, you guys, but I was at Comic-Con actually. I was at Comic-Con that weekend. I was only there on Saturday and Sunday, and unfortunately, as I told you in my Batman v Superman trailer reaction video, I did not get to go to or see any of the panels, but I did see all of the trailers and the footage that was released and leaked online a few hours later. So I wasn't there on Friday, but I did see the trailer, and oh my god, you guys, it looks awesome. For those of you who have seen it, I hope you agree with me. Now, before I continue, I just want to warn those of you who might be behind on The Walking Dead, like the most recent season, Season 5, or if you're halfway through Season 5 and you have a few episodes left before you finish Season 5, do not continue watching or listening to this video, as I will be most likely referring to and discussing pretty massive spoilers from the end of Season 5, because they're extremely relevant to what I see in the trailer for Season 6. So that being said, it looks good. And oh my god, walkers galore. They are all over the place. And Morgan is back. Yes! How many seasons have we been waiting for him to return? 2? Well, like 2 seasons? I mean, because technically 2 seasons, because we were waiting for him to return ever since Season 3. I mean, obviously we all wanted to see him come back as soon as he could. I don't think Season 1 was a possibility, but Season 2 would have been interesting to see him return. But unfortunately, he didn't. He did appear halfway through Season 3, and then we never saw him again. You know, he was always there, though. He's always in the back of our minds, and we know he's there, and he's out there. And it's like, the question was, when will we see him again? And one of the reasons why I loved the Season 5 premiere so much was that, I mean, obviously, not only was it a signal showing that the show had finally returned, but that quick little surprise at the end, that was the very first time The Walking Dead had ever done that, back in Season 5, was after the credits, they pulled a Marvel, so to speak. They do what Marvel usually does. They run the credits, and there's a surprise bonus scene at the end, and at the end of the Season 5 premiere, we see a hooded, cloaked figure with a walking stick walking down the tracks leading towards Terminus, but then he sees Rick's modified sign saying no sanctuary, and all of us are like, because I remember I'm watching the premiere when it was first on, I'm like, huh, a bonus scene, I wonder what this is. Who could that be? It's like, who is that? And as soon as he removed the hood and the mask, I'm like, Morgan, he's back! And all of us got really, really excited, because we're like, yes, Morgan's back! Yes, finally, he has returned! Oh, I was so happy to see that. And then, through the rest of Season 5, we didn't see him until the mid-season finale of Season 5, which was the episode where, spoiler alert, Beth dies at Memorial Grady Hospital in Atlanta when Rick and company attempt to rescue her and her new friend Noah from the crazy psycho bitch who runs the place. And unfortunately, Beth dies while trying to protect Noah, and then in turn, because the woman, Dawn, the cop who's running the place, Dawn kills her by accident, but of course, emotions are high, and in turn, Daryl shoots Dawn. But then there's no more bloodshed after that. It's like both sides cease hostilities and Rick's group leaves. Anyway, so in that episode, at the end of the credits, again, surprise bonus scene, and it's Morgan who has been tracking Rick's, he was tracking the trail that the hunters from Terminus had left behind. Because as Gareth explained to Bob when they had him captured in episode 3, they marked their way from Terminus to the church where Rick and his people were holed up for a while. And so Morgan was following the marked trees, like the X on the tree and all the other little symbols that the hunters had dug into the trees so that it would lead him to the church. And so he comes to the church, and he puts on a little vigil or something. Maybe he's doing something to remember his son and wife by or something. He does a quick little prayer or something like that. He's looking around, seeing what's worth grabbing, and then he sees the map that Abraham had left for Rick when Abraham and his group temporarily took off for DC while the others would supposedly catch up. But then Eugene revealed that he had been lying all along and he wasn't a scientist, so they turned around and came back to the church, and then they waited for everybody else to show, and then they all took off together to Atlanta to rescue Beth. Anyway, Morgan finds the map, and he sees the note that Abraham has left Rick saying, come to Washington, the world's going to need Rick Grimes. And his face just goes, like, his friend is still out there and alive. And then that's the last we see of Morgan for a while, until finally, Season 5 finale, he is back, and for some reason, a badass with a walking stick. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much about the last season. Okay, this video, he's back, and it looks like they're picking up immediately where they left off of Season 5. Rick is still covered in blood and messy from taking on the walkers that infiltrated Alexandria, and he's having a conversation with Morgan about how he doesn't take chances anymore, and Morgan looks at him and agrees. He's like, you shouldn't. And I think it's the same night, if not the following morning, from the Season 5 finale. And of course, there's tons and tons of walkers everywhere, and it looks like the people of Alexandria are finally stepping up and acting like real survivors. Like Jessie was in front of her house lecturing a small group of Alexandria residents, this is the world now, this is how it is, this is how we have to be. And then later, we see what looks like walkers filling the streets of Alexandria, and Jessie and her youngest son, Sam, in their house, while with her holding a gun, horrifyingly watching the walkers walk by until one of them bangs on the door. So it looks like walkers get into Alexandria right away. And that might be our mid-season finale episode. That could be what this trailer was alluding to. The mid-season finale might be the fall of Alexandria when it's overrun by a massive herd of walkers. That's just my opinion, though. I could be completely wrong. So it looks really, really good, and it looks like, at least for the first part of this season, there's going to be a real power struggle in Alexandria. Deanna, for the most part, has still sided with Rick, but with Morgan now in the picture, and with this new, almost pacifist ideology, I think he and Rick are going to butt heads, hopefully just figuratively and not literally, because I was really looking forward to watching them reconnect and re-solidify their relationship that they had all the way back in Season 1 and partly in Season 3. But back in Season 3, Morgan was batshit crazy for losing his son and to his undead wife. But now Morgan seems to have come back to reality and has this streak of humanity in him. Where that came from, I'm dying to find out, along with the question, the burning question, where the hell did he learn to use a walking stick like a kung fu master? Where did he pick that up? Something happened to him, and I bet you, like the cast and crew has been hinting at for a while now, we're going to get some kind of flashback episode revealing what happened to Morgan between the time we saw him at the Terminus sign and he changed course to follow the marked trees, and the time that he finally ended up in Alexandria at the end of Season 5. And in the trailer, it looks like, walkers are, they've always been a problem, but now it looks like they're really a big problem because there are tons of them everywhere. They're all over the place, and it looks like not only will they inevitably swarm and overrun Alexandria, if it doesn't happen in the mid-season finale, guys, it's going to happen soon, at least this season. I don't see how it couldn't. And then it looks like there's the power struggle with, Rick insisting on leading Alexandria down the right course in terms of survival, where Morgan, on the other hand, seems to prefer a more peaceful approach and a more simpler way of living their lives, a more peaceful solution, so to speak. But it's interesting because it's like not everybody in Alexandria is sold, because there's the guy in the living room full of people while Rick is addressing everyone. He's like, oh, so we all just stand behind you now and take orders from you? Is that it? And then later in the trailer, Deanna and she's most likely talking about Rick, how she's like, he has been out there. We are going to trust him. Looks at her, cuts to Morgan, and then back to her as if she's looking at Morgan, all of us. Because earlier in the trailer, Morgan's like, we have to stop Rick. I can stop him. I know him. And what makes Morgan decide he has to stop Rick? What is Rick doing, or what does Morgan think Rick is doing, where Morgan tries to convince Deanna and maybe a few others as to Rick's doing something that he shouldn't be, or that it could endanger all of them. And then a lot of fans have immediately begun speculating that in the trailer where Morgan's like, "You've chosen this life. You know, you turn around and get the hell out of here and don't ever come back." And some people are speculating he's exiling Rick. That is a possibility, but I think he might be exiling maybe a different person. Maybe a different character, a minor or a major character. Maybe he's exiling an Alexandria resident, someone who's been stirring up trouble or something. But he's kicking somebody out, that's for certain, because Alexandria is right in the background behind him. And then I could have sworn it looked like Morgan smacked with his walking stick in a brief second. I could have sworn it looks like Morgan smacks Father Gabriel right on the face with his walking stick for a brief second. I'm going to watch the trailer again, but I could have sworn it looks like Morgan is attacking Father Gabriel. But what's even more troubling is that when Rick starts, you know, he's pointing his gun obviously at somebody, most likely their forehead, or he's knocked them on their ass and the person is on the ground while Rick is right in their face. He's like, "You think you can take this place from me, from Daryl, from Michonne, from Glenn? Do you have any idea who you're talking to?" And that's not some new enemy or new character that he's talking to, somebody he's never met before till that moment. He's talking to somebody he's known for a while. And unfortunately, it's most likely that it's Morgan. You know, what if Morgan tries to seize control of Alexandria? He thinks Rick is unfit to be leader, so he tries to take control by trying to eliminate Rick. You know, hopefully not killing him, but maybe trying to kick him out. But at the same time, Rick could be talking to somebody else. Maybe he's talking to Father Gabriel, because maybe Father Gabriel has his own agenda. You know, maybe he maybe this season he'll slowly build up his confidence and rebuild his confidence, and he'll try to kick Rick and his people out, or at least Rick. So maybe Rick's threatening Father Gabriel in that clip. We don't know. We really don't see it. It does cut to Morgan, showing Morgan, but he's clearly calm, sitting at a table, looking across the table like he's talking to somebody. So he's definitely not being threatened or intimidated at that moment by Rick. So Rick is threatening somebody he knows, because he mentions specific names as if the person he's threatening knows who he's talking about, and they most likely do. And I was happy to see some action happening with Heath now. Heath is the new character that we saw an image of a few weeks ago. He is the new young African-American male with the glasses, and it looks like almost like a ponytail, but with those braids. Braided hair and with like a ponytail almost on top. And he is from the comics. He is a runner, a supply runner for Alexandria. He's a good guy. And it was nice to see him working alongside Glenn, like when the walkers break through the glass of that building. He and Glenn take aim with their pistols and fire. And then there's another scene of him helping Michonne carry away a wounded person, most likely a resident of Alexandria, nobody I really recognized. Oh, and then another theory is that the person who Rick may be threatening when he's holding his gun, going down the list of names of characters, he might be threatening the guy who earlier in the trailer opposed him, the guy who's presumably an Alexandria resident, and he's like, "Oh, so we're all supposed to line up behind you and follow your lead and do whatever you tell us to do?" He might be talking to that guy or threatening that guy. That guy actually might try to assert himself as leader, and Rick won't have that. So it's entirely possible. There's so many theories and speculations, guys, but overall, it looks like it's going to be a hell of a season and a hell of a lot of fun. And then towards the end of the trailer, we see Daryl, who's bound and temporarily captive by a man who's holding him at gunpoint. And from what I can tell, the way the man is threatening him, he doesn't sound like he's a psychopath. He sounds like a guy protecting his family because there's two women in the background. He's like, "Here's the deal. You don't say a word, and I don't kill you." And Daryl, bound, is like, "I'm not who you think I am." And the guy cocks the pistol as if he's like, "Don't fucking say another word, smartass." What I think is happening there is that Daryl most likely runs into some trouble while out on a scouting mission, either by himself or with Aaron, but in that case, it obviously looks like he's alone without Aaron, and he's been caught temporarily by the family that maybe he's been tracking to try to recruit them to, like Eren always does with people. You know, he's a scout and he's supposed to recruit people into coming back to Alexandria with him. And maybe Daryl just has to warm up to these people at first. And it looks like they're in a burned out swamp or something. Oh, another thing. It looks like there are lots of really nasty looking, ugly walkers. This might be the season that will feature some of the ugliest walkers ever. So it'll be interesting to see, but I'm super pumped and excited about it. I can't wait to see what's to come. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Morgan will reconnect with Rick, if at all, and how he'll relate to all of these other characters that we've come to love and know for the past several years that Morgan has been absent from. So I'm very, very, very excited about all of this. Very much looking forward. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the trailer for Season 6 of The Walking Dead as much as I did. And I hope some of you got to enjoy Comic-Con as I did. I unfortunately did not attend any panels, but I think I definitely will next year. So thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and like and comment and share this video. What do you guys think is going to happen in Season 6? You know, without referring to the graphic novels, so we don't inadvertently spoil anything for the TV watchers who do not follow the comics. What do you think might happen? What do you think we'll see? What would you like to see? Who is your favorite character from Season 5? Do you think they'll be in Season 6? Shout out down below. I'd love to hear everybody's opinions. Let's keep it civil and respectful, of course. And please hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for all of my upcoming content and videos regarding reaction videos to like Fear the Walking Dead trailer and the Suicide Squad trailer. I'm going to be doing that video shortly. So thank you so much for watching and subscribing, you guys. And until next time, we are the Walking Dead.